I found Homage to Catalonia, which I've been looking for a couple of years.
It's fiction?
No, it's a memoir. It's nonfiction.
Oh, it's a memoir.
It's a George Orwell remembering fighting in the Spanish Civil War, and he wrote it right after he came back.
Oh my God!
So it was written in the late 30s. He went down to be a journalist. He's the age that I am now. Maybe a year older than I am now. But Franco attempted a coup, and it was partly successful, and it was partly failed. So there was a stalemate that then became a civil war.
Okay.
And so on one side, it's the fascists, backed by Germany and Italy. And then on the other side, it's a coalition of government loyalists to the original government and anarchists. And this is back when anarchists could actually field like
Franco was
armies.
a fascist, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so it's communists, anarchists, and government loyalists against the fascists.
Oh wow!
And
Orwell went to fight for.
Orwell went to be a journalist. He was sympathetic with
Okay.
with the he was an anti-fascist. He
Right.
hated Franco and Mussolini and Hitler, but he was going to go.
Okay.
And he gets there and he realizes like I might as well just sign up and fight because he just liked he was so inspired being there.
Right.
But he's not really a cheerleader. And you see, like I've read his other books. Like I've read a lot of his essays, and I've read 1984 and Animal Farm. And
Yeah, I've only read those two, Animal Farm and 1984.
But he's not really a cheerleader. He's kind of got this sardonic, very honest, but kind of reserved, like a journalist's eye for what's happening. So he's very critical of the people that are his allies.
Okay.
And he sort of, I'm halfway into it, and he sort of gets into how the good guys splintered and fell apart, and the bad guys stayed united.
Right.
Betrayed the anarchists and the non-Soviet communist forces fighting because they didn't want to have a revolution there at the time.
Wow.
And that's his conclusion, at least. And so it was kind of this internecine feud, and it was what made, because he came down there sympathizing with the communists.
Yeah.
And he left there hating Stalin because he blamed Stalin for ruining the war and turning it over to Franco. And I guess by the time he's writing the book, the war hasn't been totally lost, but it's about to be.
Okay.
So he's writing it going like, I hope we can pull it off, but it doesn't look like we will.
The revolution in Spain was mid-30s, wasn't it? 35?
It was 36 was when they pulled the coup, I believe.
Okay.
And Franco was the Air Force. I could be wrong, but I believe he was Air Force, and I believe he was in the colonies like the Azores or what do you call it, the Canary Islands or something. And that then where the military was stronger, and that they like came back to Spain and took over half the country.
Okay.
And then it was sort of intense fighting, but it was the way Orwell describes it is almost funny. It's bitterly ironic and funny about how incompetent the war was on both sides. How nobody really had anything,
right?
And they weren't really shooting at each other much, so much as freezing to death.